for stronger representation for District 5. We are marching into the new year with new and stronger representation. And that is what we're doing today. Who likes a chant? Who likes a chant? Who likes a chant? Who likes a chant? All right. We are the change. We are the change. We are the change. We are the change. We will no longer stand by. 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 We want change. 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 We demand stronger representation. We demand stronger representation. We demand stronger representation. We demand stronger representation. That's right. What do you want? Change. What do you want? Change. What do you want? Change. When do you want it? Now. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Change. What do you want? Change. And when do you want it? Now. Fatmata Barrie for what? Change. That's right. Vote Fatmata Barrie. That's right. Fatmata. What do we want? Fatmata. What do we want? Fatmata. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Change. What do we want? Fatmata. What do we want? Change. Vote for District 5. Vote for District 5. What do we want? Say that it's because we have folks who have stepped up and stepped in to represent the needs of the citizens of East County, and that's Miss Fatmata Barrie. And she's the reason why we're all here today. Isn't that right? Yeah. Right. Well, to get us started, I want to say a little bit about this young lady. I met her as part of the African Affairs Advisory Group, a group of advocates who looked at what was needed in our community and without waiting to be asked, stepped up and said, I can do my little bit to make a difference. And that she has been on that road, from representing within the African Affairs Advisory Group to doing things outside of the African Affairs Advisory Group to advance the needs of the community, be it immigration workshops, going to court, be it special ed with our students. She has been there and she has demonstrated her love and her commitment to the work that needs to be done in the community to advance the needs of our community. Thank you, Fatmata. We look forward to supporting you, to getting you in the council to represent East County. On that note, I would like to welcome our campaign chair, Mr. Juan Carrabas.
I have my notes. I thought I had it memorized until I got so cold I can't even sit. And I'm from New England. But hello, friends of Fatmata. I have to get the tea right. Fatmata. Thank you for coming this cold morning. I know you're probably asking yourselves, who is this woman up here with the funny voice and the boots and the hat talking about our Fatmata? Well, who is she? Well, I could list my credentials, but what's important is why I am supporting this lady. I haven't known her very long before she asked me to be her campaign chair. And I was very flattered. But that isn't why I said yes. I said yes because she's probably the most authentic, compassionate, and passionate candidate you will ever meet. She fights for all people. She fights for the rights of all people in the county, in the district, in her community, in your community. She's the type of person we need in elected office. And she's been fighting for decades. She was fighting before the running for office was even a dream. She was running when the thought of having a last-minute political op-ed or photo op was even in her mind, like some of the other candidates that are running. So this is why I'm supporting Fatmata. And as many of you know, who have known her longer, you don't say no to Fatmata. She puts a spell over you. Is that right? Am I right? And hopefully she'll put a spell over this district and this county and bring that magic to District 5. I have said this many times before. Some of you have heard it, some of you haven't. But the times have found Fatmata. This is her time. This is her time. All the stars are aligned, the circumstances are right. We have new districts, no incumbents. She has found her time. And District 5 has found her. And I can't wait to see what she's going to do for this district and for this county. Thank you, Fatmata. She's not here.
I am more than honored and blessed to invite this woman to speak, because I have admired her for so long, and I knew that doing this, she was one of the first person I reached out to even before I announced my run for the council seat. And she's always been very encouraging. She's always been very supportive. She, like people have said, right? I will say what I need to say, and that's what attracted me to her. That's what attracted the fact that she says what is supposed to be said. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth and it's a fact. So she tells you as it is, and that made me be attracted to her and everything that she stood for. And she has built a legacy on her own that is independent of the fact that she's the widow of the amazing and wonderful Elijah Cummings. And I always like to say that because I think for too long, people link her with him, which is fantastic and great. But in her own, she's an amazing woman. She's an amazing leader. And she is somebody with a great heart and spirit. And I am so glad that she took the time to come all the way out here from Baltimore to come and be here at my kickoff and to support me. And I wanted to introduce you guys to the amazing and wonderful Maya Rocket, Dr. Maya Rocket.
Thank you, Fatmata. Thank you to every single one of you who came out today on this auspicious occasion. And I am proud today to say that I am here to endorse Fatmata. Council 5. Fatmata is simply a terrific human being. Now, my namesake, Maya Angelou, once said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Well, let me tell you, Fatmata showed me who she was very early on. When I actually won the chairwomanship of the Maryland Democratic Party, Fatmata reached out to me independently wanting to meet. So we had lunch. And she talked compassionately and very passionately about all of the issues of concern to her. She said that she was willing to work, and she asked me to put her to work. And literally towards the end of that lunch, I was convinced that Fatmata showed me who she was, and that is a good person. Someone who is compassionate, someone who has integrity, someone who cares for her community, and who cares and feels like she can make a change. And guess what? She can.
Yeah, that's right.
So when I actually, decided to shift leadership at the Maryland Democratic Party in terms of the various committees that we had, I actually named Fatmata to be the chair of our, what was the full title?
The chair of the Maryland Democratic Party Diversity Leadership Council of Continental Africans.
It's a very long but Fatmata carried it well. She did a good job, and I didn't regret actually appointing her to that position. And so I know that Fatmata is a hard worker. Now, something else my namesake says, she says, nothing will work unless you do. Fatmata has shown that she is willing to work. Now, listen, her background is incredible. She came to the United States at the age of 11. And she worked hard to basically get to college and become a lawyer and then go on to found her own firm, working for people who are, immigrants and special education kids. And so Fatmata knows what it's like to be compassionate for the underdog, to fight for the underdog, and to make sure that those who society typically overlook will get a fair treatment. And so I am convinced that Fatmata will do the same thing for Montgomery County. She has lived here for a long time. She knows her neighbors, she knows the community, she knows the issues, and she will work hard on behalf of the people of Montgomery County and East County especially. Yes. So with that, I just want to say this. Fatmata is a person of integrity. She is running a campaign that she has a very likely chance of winning, and we're all here for her because we know that she can win. Yes. We know that she will do a good job. Yes. So with that, all I can say is vote Barrie for District 5. I also want to say this. Give money to Fatmata Barrie. I want you to come out, maybe when it's a little bit warmer, and make sure that you give your energy to her campaign by volunteering. And at the end of the day, I just want to say this, and I don't know what your campaign slogan is, but Barrie works.
Thank you so much, Mama. When I ran in 2018, she was also running for office. And one thing you should know, many times when people are running for office, you're sort of careful. You're supposed to be careful about who you support. Oh. When you're running for office, for many people, they're careful about who they support. I was really, at the time, not much of a name person. But this is what I can say. Sharia, if I remember correctly, was the first person who openly supported me. And she was somebody who already she was in this seat before. And so she already had her name recognition. She didn't have to support me. And her support meant so much to me. And I've admired her even before then. Again, another woman who tells it as it is. You don't have to like it, but she'll tell you what it is. She'll tell you how it is. And these qualities, because it's about transparency and honesty and integrity. And when you have those, you tell it as it is. You may not always be pretty, and people may not always be happy about it, but you tell it as it is. And she has that. And she has her homilies that she puts out every so often that I love reading, and it just gives you this aha moment of what she puts out. And I am so honored that you've always supported me this entire 5 years and up to this point. She was one of the first people also that I spoke to when I decided to run, and she gave me so much advice about the county, about the things moving on around here, because she's been here, and she has done a great job. The small time that she was on the council, she did amazing work. And during her time in procurement, she worked with some feathers, but she sure did. She necessarily, but she sure did try to even the playing field that has not been evened out here in this county. So thank you so much, Julie. Oh, feel like I'm running for something. Look, here's what I want. Today is January 22nd. And I'm going to just bring it down a little bit and then hope to take it back up.
Today is the anniversary of my grandfather's death. And the reason I bring that up is because my grandfather was a council person in a small town called Shepherdstown, West Virginia. He taught me everything I know about politics. He taught me to do right by people. You trust the judgment of people who know. You work for people and you go to every corner to find out what people need. He served on that town council for longer than any other person, living or dead. And when he passed away, they named the room where the town council meets after him, and a portrait stands on the wall. This may not sound like much, but if you know Shepherdstown, you know Shepherdstown about 10% black. And so they did this in honor of him. I say all that to say this. When I met Fatmata, I decided to support her because those same values are the values that she possessed. I can think of no better place to be on this day than to be here supporting someone who I know has the values, the legacy that I entrust, that's been entrusted to me, and that I believe in. I met Fatmata, I don't even know when, but I do know that she served on the East County Regional Advisory Board. And I live out here in East County now, and I can tell you that this district has not gotten everything it deserves. There have been some valiant efforts, you know, Councilmember Duwando and others, valiant efforts to make sure this district gets what it deserves, but fortunately now that we have a new district, the focus can turn to where it needs to be. This is our opportunity to make sure that whoever represents this new district understands the people and the movement necessary for this district. We're not like the other places in Montgomery County. We don't need to be. We have our own culture, our own demographics that make us different from everybody. But we need good and fair representation. And that's why I'm here to endorse Fatmata. I know that she is dedicated, she is determined, she is dynamic, she will fight for the people of this district. You hear me? She will fight for the people of this district. And that is what we need. So I encourage you, donate. The money matters, y'all. Work and vote for Fatmata. She has been, I've admired so much of things she has done and said and supported, and I was just so happy that she has supported my campaign from the beginning. And I mean from the beginning, before I even did it. Just like I supported her. I was waiting for her to announce when she finally did. I was like, so I am just so thrilled. And it's not just support. Like, you know, you have people who support you. But when you have someone who is running her own race and she still make the time at 11. Hey girl, how you doing? You know, because she knows what it means to be out there running, especially as a woman, as a black woman. She knows what it is. She knows what it means. And she reaches out, you know? She reaches out, she offers her help, her assistance. Her and her sister are just amazing people. And I'm so glad that I have the support. And thank you so much, girl. And when she's done, she'll introduce the next people. Y'all, I know
temperature's low out here. Are you fired up? I am fired up. I am so warm and full of excitement right now because we are here at the launch of Fatmata Barrie for District 5. That is where I want to be on this Saturday. It is amazing. You all have heard so much about just how outstanding this woman is. And so I want to keep it brief. I want to tell you just a couple of things about why this is an easy choice for me to say that I am proud to endorse Fatmata Barrie for District 5. And I want to start by talking about the fact that Fatmata is about building relationships. Right. And I don't know how many of y'all have tried to walk down the street in any kind of populated place with Fatmata. But you only get, maybe if you're lucky, about 2 blocks before she got to stop and talk to someone. Because someone greeted her on the street. Someone said hello. She recognized someone. Someone asked about the work that they were doing together. And you see these conversations and people come up to Fatmata with so much joy, so much delight in being able to greet her. And that is how you know. That is how you know that authenticity that folks have been talking about is so real. Because everywhere she goes, her relationships are in evidence. Everywhere she goes, the work that she has been doing for years in this community across Montgomery County is in evidence. People love her, people honor her work, and it's beautiful to see, and it's beautiful to get to witness. But the second thing that Fatmata does is that she is all about making connections. She does not keep those relationships to herself. She does not keep the resources, the knowledge that she has to herself. She is always about making sure that folks in this community are connected to one another, that they get connected to what they need, that they make sure that people are part of a network, a community that supports us to thrive, that supports us to support ourselves and our families, to do the work that we want to do in this world. The Fatmata is all about that. She is all about finding those ways to make connections, to build new ones, and to support this wider community. And then, as you have already heard, Fatmata is about speaking the truth. And this is really important. We are at a critical moment in our county and in our country, and in our world, quite frankly, where we need folks to be speaking the truth about some of the things that are going on. And Fatmata will absolutely talk about how beautiful and wonderful it is to live in Montgomery County. But she will also speak the truth about how we have not done right by East County, how we have not done right by the people of District 5, how we have not made sure that folks get to have the abundance that they need to thrive, to use their gifts, to use their skills. She will say what's right. She will talk about the wonderful things that we can do together, the amenities and resources that we have here, but she will also talk about persistent racial and economic inequity, the inequities in health, all of the things that our communities are facing. And we need people to be telling the truth about that right now, because we need people to be working with us to solve those problems. These things have lasted for too long, and our communities need real solutions, and it starts by telling the truth about what's happening. And Fatmata will do that, whether or not you want to hear it, whether or not you like it. That's one of the things I love about her. And it's what means that I know that I can trust her. That I can trust her to represent this district, that I can trust her to be a colleague with me on the council. And that the work that we're going to get to do together is going to truly and deeply connect to and support the people of this district, the people of all our communities across Montgomery County. So, again, I am really excited. I hope y'all are really excited. Council member from District 5. Our new council member, our first council member from the new District 5. And so, as many of y'all know, I am running for Montgomery County Council at large. And so, I'm really excited to introduce our next speaker, who I hope I will get to be a colleague with on the council, but who I'm also already so proud to have as one of my at-large representatives. Councilmember Will Girondo has been a fighter for this community for a long time. He has been a leader in this community, again, another truth teller and someone who really works to understand and to deeply engage with both the aspirations and the beautiful hopes that we have in our community and the challenges and barriers that we are facing in getting to those hopes. Ever since he got on the council, he has started with introducing legislation that has been addressing some of the critical issues in our county, starting with his very first bill on transparency when it comes to policing. He's continued up until the work that he's done this year on making sure renters are protected and that we don't have escalating rents right in the middle of still a pandemic where people are suffering devastating health and economic challenges. This is another person that we can trust to represent us well in the council. Fatmata knows because she's had a chance to work with him and work in that office and see how he does every day. And so it's my pleasure to invite Councilmember Will Girondo up. I know he's already been introduced. But I want people to understand, he's my former boss, but it's more than that. He has been a brother for many years, long before I ever worked for him. And his unvarnished support, I'm not going to say a lot because some of it was outside of public eye, but I've seen how passionate he's been in the defense of me, and you'll never understand what that has meant. When you unequivocally tell people that we've all known, and you say we're supporting you, and you show the passion of it, and the emotion of even some form of anger based on what people may have said about me or put me down, the reaction meant so much to me. You'll never understand what it meant because it's showing that somebody cares for you when it's a visual reaction. It's not something that person really thinks about. It just sort of happens. And when that happens, you know that a person cares. And I feel so honored. Besides everything that has been said about him as a county council member, but as a human being, I saw what he did while I worked for him. I knew who he was, but I saw it even more working for him on the council. And knowing that the work that he was doing wasn't just, because he's on the council, but rather because now he's on the council, he has the opportunity to do right by the people. And this is why I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm really grateful. So thank you for being here.
I'm going to put my earmuffs back on. It's so good to be here, and I'm so, I think someone said, a couple people said, there's no other place I'd rather be. Even though it's cold, to support and endorse Fatmata Barrie. I need, and it's selfish too, because I need her help. And we need help on the council to do what we need to do for people. And a lot's been said about Fatmata, and I want to tell you just personally a few things about her that I've witnessed over the course of the, 10 years or so plus that I've known her. Fatmata is intelligent. She knows what she's talking about, and if she doesn't know, she'll find out. That's a key part of intelligence. A lot of people, you don't have to know everything. Intelligence is knowing you don't know everything, and that you will research and find out and use your ability to know it. And I saw that in her personal and professional life as a lawyer, as an advocate for children, but also as a staff person in my office. Who worked on some of the most important legislation that we did. She was the lead on criminal justice reform. If anyone who knows me knows that that's something I care deeply, passionately about. And Fatmata was at the forefront of crafting and developing and advocating for those pieces of legislation. This has also been mentioned, but I want to give you another aspect of it. Fatmata is a hard worker. And, you know, I played basketball from the time I was, 8 years old through college, and I played with the Nigerian national team. I know hard work. And there's something that I used to say, and I coached at my high school. One thing I always say, and I apply it to everything in my life: you cannot teach hustle. Hustle cannot be taught. You either have it or you don't. And Fatmata has it. And you want that in an elected official. You want someone who, when that ball's on the ground, they're going to die for it. Or when that constituent calls your office, they're going to track down what happened. And they're going to follow up. And they're going to follow up again. And they're going to call the agency and say, why haven't you followed up? And I've seen that from Fatmata in so many different ways. But I want to tell you a way that I saw it here in District 5. When I ran for the legislature in 2014, Fatmata was one of my earliest supporters, as well as several of these ladies behind me and out there. And prior to that, that team had been in place for quite a bit. And there was a delegate, Sheila Hickson, who had been in office for almost 4 years. And she had won all 27 of the precincts in District 20 for probably the last 20, 25 years, had come in first place in those precincts. So I was running, there was a big election, and Fatmata, who's lived in White Oak, still does, said, I'm going to organize White Oak. And anyone knows anything about White Oak, we're right here, right up the street. It's one of the highest populated areas for black residents, particularly for black immigrant African residents in our county. And Fatmata knocked on, I don't know how many doors you knocked on, but thousands of doors in White Oak. And when the election came, I didn't win. I lost by 100 votes out of 40,000 cast. But we won this precinct. And Sheila Hickson was second to me in this precinct. And that was the only precinct that Sheila Hickson didn't win. She won all 26 other precincts. And I credit to this day back to Fatmata's effort on knocking those doors, talking to those residents about why we needed a new change and a new voice in the legislature. So Fatmata works hard. And she understands the importance of grassroots advocacy, of talking to people where they are, at their doors, in their communities. You heard Brandy say you can't walk down the street without her, someone knowing her. And you want that in your elected official, because all too often you have this distance that's created. It's one of the things I loved about Elijah Cummings, is who I had the chance to be mentored by and get considered a dear friend, is people knew him and he was in with the people. And you want elected officials who do that. And I've tried to model that myself. The third thing I'll say about Fatmata is that she's not only a truth teller, because she will tell the truth, she is humble and has humility. Something that sometimes doesn't always go when you think you're right. You got a lot of people think they're intelligent and they know everything and they're not humble, right? And a lot of politicians like that. Fatmata also has humility. She has the humility to know that she needs to learn things if she doesn't know them, that she needs to talk to people who are experiencing things, and that she doesn't have all the answers, but she will get there with community and figure it out. And you want that in a leader. You want an intelligent, hardworking, humble leader. And that's what Fatmata Barrie is. And that's why she should, out of everyone running, be the first council person from the newly created District 5. So I'm so excited to be here. Give her some money. She's off to a good start. I was on her hard. I was like, you gotta get some money, because you gotta be credible. We know black women are going to be. They're always, if anyone who runs, black women have the toughest time fundraising, have the toughest time being seen as credible. So she's done that. She's taken that first step. Those reports came out this week. She's right in the mix. She's right there. She's at the top of the leaderboard. And we have to keep her there. We have to keep her there. It's expensive to run these campaigns. She's going to work the doors, but help her get more people, more literature. She's got this beautiful picture. Help get that in more mailboxes and on more phones. That's how she's going to win. We're in a unique COVID campaign environment. We're going to need to contact people in a lot of ways. So help get her on the council so that we can help this community. I've lived in most of my life get what it deserves and be a part of the Montgomery County Promise that should be available to every resident. Fatmata Barrie is going to do it. So let's do it.
The letter she wrote, and I just have to have her read you guys. So Victoria?
Welcome.
I live in Burnsville all my life. So, I lived in Burnsville until I was 15, and a year ago we moved to Howard County, but we still visit there often, and we went to Burnsville in September, and my mother met Miss Fatmata because she had her booth and she was advocating for a campaign, and she told me about it. And she thought I'd be interested in it. So recently I looked into it, and I felt compelled to email her in my support because I felt like she was advocating for the needs I wanted to see in our community. And growing up, I never saw any African women running or holding a position in government. And she became a role model for my generation, giving us a real-life example on what our voices can do and the difference we can make in our community. And as I was reading her campaign, I saw what she wanted to advocate for, especially advocating for high schools in poverty because most of them consist of people of color. It limits the opportunities accessible to them, preventing them from excelling to their full potential like some of their other counterparts. In the 8th grade, I wrote a research paper about health disparities in the U.S., and it became protruding to me on how black women suffer at the hands of healthcare workers. And black women are always at higher risk due to misconceptions in the healthcare system, and it's disturbing to know that Ms. Fatmata is working to denounce them and fighting for equal health quality for all. And lastly, what something that really stood out to me is how she's fighting for mental health. In my high school specifically, we have struggled with a lot of tragedies due to the lack of concern for mental health, and it is relieving to know that she's putting in place services to help the community get the access they need. I just want to thank you, Ms. Fatmata, for what you're doing and for allowing me to speak here today.
That girl has a future.
Isn't she great? Yeah. You have to see the letter she wrote. She just gave me goosebumps that morning. I have to send it to everybody. Have you guys seen this letter? Oh my God. And she's high school. Like, she's in high school. And you read how she writes, yes, you have a fantastic future coming. And I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it. So, no, I don't know if do we have a camera or something? It's not working?
Well, I was talking to Brandy earlier, and I mentioned the Brandys of the world, the Fatmatas of the world, and the Sheilas of the world, and how they are the ones that are blazing the trail. I call them the mother elephants. The women that came before, the women that are here, and the women that we expect the victorious.
As most of we have already said, the point of public other people's first who have discussed. I'm not going to details, but just to cite 2 examples. When she was in the 10th grade at Louisiana Academy, she used to volunteer, go out and help elderly people. Even refused me with the car home from school, because after school she was out there and help elderly people. That was her. Only a 10th grader, she started doing community service. And when she graduated from college, she had a psychology degree from a company called Tampa Bay Academy. They help counsel disturbed children. Guess what? One of the black children there was maltreated, and she decided that the 90s has to go back to the law. Protect and to defend these people. That's how she became a child advocate. She went back to school to do law, to make sure that she protects these children. Because I'm not surprised that she's still on it. All I have to say is thank you very much, you guys, for giving her the support that she needs for her to go through this. Love you, I appreciate you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. We can't see you, Mommy. I want to see your face. That is my mommy. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Love you. I'll see you guys. All right. Okay. All right. So I think that's all. I see some people. One of my other sister friends is here, Bernice North. She's running for state's attorney. She's an older black woman running, and if she wins, she'll be the first one ever. So let's support her. Yes. Okay. All right. So I guess it's my turn. Yeah. It's my turn. It's been closed, so let's get out of here.
The next council person from District 5,
I was supposed to wear a really nice, stylish coat, but it's cold out here. So I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I appreciate every single one of you, and I have no idea how I can ever thank all of you that are here today. And the endorsements from these amazing group of people, it's undescribable, the feeling that you guys have given me today. It's undescribable, the support I feel. But before I go any further to even start speaking and talking about issues and why I'm running and all that stuff, I'm going to try to do this without getting too emotional, so bear with me. I've actually improved a lot. See, if my family were here in person, they would tell you that I would cry in the drop of a hat. But don't let that fool you now. Just because I cry don't mean I won't lay down. So, anyway, I want to start off by thanking my team. I have an amazing group of people who have been supporting me throughout these months of running for the seat, and I don't know how I can ever thank them. I want to start off with Joanne. When she said she has not known me that long, she's not kidding. Like, we literally met virtually, mind you, about what? So March, April, probably about April or so. When I was introduced to her to work with her in the Women's Democratic Club, or rather be trained by her, and she took me under her wing, and she helped me learn how to write for that particular group. I'm still learning, and she has been there from the beginning. When I told her I was going to be running for council, she was so excited. I was like, oh my God, what's this woman so excited? But she was so excited that I was running. And it's just amazing. I tell people, and I tell my boyfriend all the time, it's just amazing that I met someone virtually and connected with her at such a level, and it was just amazing. And she literally treats me like I'm her daughter. And that's not something you find all the time, especially not that easy and not that quickly. And she has stood by me, even when I am a pain. Even when I frustrate her, she is still there. And I know I frustrated you so many times, but she's still there. And she doesn't waver at all, like ever. And I am so grateful to you. I don't know how I will ever be able to be thankful to you. For
Get in
the
the council
time.
and do the work.
The time you have given and the efforts you have made and guided me. You're on the phone with me at midnight. I'm like, oh my goodness, her husband's going to kill me. Keeping her as much as I do. So I want to say thank you for accepting to be a campaign chair and doing way more than a campaign chair normally does. Because the job description for campaign chair is just whatever they can do, is basically what it is. But she has gone above and beyond the duties of the campaign chair. And I say thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Next. Why are you hiding? He's always hiding. It's my treasurer, Mr. Sa. He's a fine, always hide. Never wants to have the public view. When I say this man has been a brother, I mean a brother. Even before this, he's always been very supportive. If you ever come to my house and you see my microwave, he put it there years ago. When my microwave broke, he fixed it and put a new one for me. So he's always been there for me. When I needed a treasurer, I reached out to him. He didn't even hesitate. He said yes, and he has been amazing. He's never worked for any campaign before in his life, not exactly the political person, but he said yes. And all I can say is I'm so grateful. We were able to get the funds in because of every person who has been part of this campaign. Auntie Sophie, Omega, Abby, Andrea, my lead with the youth group, and now Victoria is joining her for that role. I'm so happy of everyone who is here. Amazing advisor, Montgomery Barrie, the man who will talk to me about everything and anything and guide me, has guided me so much. It's amazing that a human being can be that giving, but he has always been very giving. I always say it's his fault that I'm even where I am today. When I met him in DC, he introduced me to the African Affairs Advisory Group. And the rest, as he says, history. That's how I got here, because of this man right here. And I want to thank everyone for being here. We were able to file our annual financial reports because Sa was staying up so many nights working on it. And he had so much help. We had so much help from amazing people. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who they are, so I won't unless I get clarity that I can say it. So I won't, because I don't know the rules. But amazing people who helped us put this report together and make sure that we did it right. And because of that, we were able to file it in time, not in a timely manner, but in time. And moving forward will be a whole lot. And I want to say thank you, everyone. We got 181 Montgomery County to donate. 181 people. Montgomery County donated to our campaign, people. That's a lot of people. And I am so honored that you did that. So I'm running simply because Montgomery County, District 5, East County, needs stronger representation. Everyone talks about the fact that it's been over 40 years since Montgomery, for the last 40 years, Montgomery County, East County has been left behind. But the question is this: did we have representation? Of course we did. We had representation. We had people who were working. So why do we say that we were ignored? Because we did not have strong representation. Because although we had people in office for us, they didn't show. I want to work and represent District 5 for this basic simple fact that we need to not have makeovers. Like our library, for example. I'll start with that. So, because that's something very basic. I've always felt that when you're building libraries in other parts of the county, we should have a library that has the same level of services that you find in other places. You know, we need to have it. This is the 21st century. This is 2022. Our library was closed for the longest time, but when it opened, it was a facelift. We need more in East County. We need better schools in East County. We need newer schools in East County. We need our children to have the same education opportunities that others have in other parts of this county. We need that. But that can only happen if you have strong representation, people who push and fight for your community, for your needs, for your children, for your livelihood. We have a community, a county, where we say that we are 1/3 of the population is foreign born, and if you take the children, it's about 45%. That's what we celebrate. We celebrate the fact that Montgomery County is probably the most diverse county that we have in the state of Maryland, if not in the country, right? And 4 of the top most diverse cities are here in Montgomery County. But we don't see it when it comes to equity and inclusion. We don't. We don't see it. We don't see it in the most basic of places. In the council. Let's use that for an example. That's just basic. We have many others, but just the council. We don't see representation. We don't see inclusion. We don't see equity. We have 2 black men, 1 about to leave. We have no black women. We have 1 woman who's about to leave. And at the end of the day, what does that say about the county? What does that say about us? We will be having 11 council members in the council. 11. And if the women who are running right now do not win, we will have 11 men on the council. Nothing against men, obviously. But equity calls for equal representation on the council. And
Say it again.
equity calls for equal and fair representation for all members of the community. That
Amen.
includes seeing somebody who looks like you and thinks like you. And it's only fair. We have a community that is very, very, very hardworking. But the jobs are not here. They're not here. People that live here have to go out of the area to work. We need jobs to come into District 5. And we need jobs where they pay.
Yes.
Paying jobs, proper paying jobs is what we need for our community. And the only way we can do that is if we, as representatives, God willing, and get in there, we fight to bring employers to this area.
Yeah.
And as we are developing, because in case you don't know, we're in the process of redeveloping White Oak, East County. As we're redeveloping, we have to ensure and make sure that people are not priced out of their homes, that when they bring the jobs in, it's not for others to come in and take the jobs, but rather to make it available to those who live here, whether it's by training them or bringing in jobs that fit the community that they're coming into. So those are some of the things that we have to fight for. We have to fight to protect our community. And when I say community safety, that includes proper policing. So we want our police officers to really use community policing. Boots on the ground, be available, live here, see what's happening in this community. But at the same time, protect the community. That means that the unarmed black men who have been killed on this side of town should not happen. And if it does, people should be held accountable. Right?
Yeah.
They should be held accountable. And this is what the bills that Councilman Juando worked on, that I was lead on in the council as his staff, and still waiting for implementation. These bills should be implemented, and the council should call people to task, call the MCPD to task, call the executive branch to task, because they're supposed to implement this and they haven't. So when we talk about strong representation, we are talking also about immigrant rights and protections. I'm an immigrant. I came here at the age of 11. I like to say if they had dreamers back then, I would be considered a dreamer. And I believe when I look at all my opponents, I may be the only person who really talks about immigrant rights, and it's very clear about that it needs to be addressed. Our population in this side of town have a lot of immigrants. Whether they're black or brown, we have many immigrants that live out here, and they work hard. And their rights also need to be protected like everyone's rights. So I want to be able to fight for that. I have fought for it, I have fought for it, I have fought for it. Whether it's testifying for the Trust Act, whether it's helping to write legislation in reference to that, whether it's going to Capitol Hill to fight for it, whether it's having meetings with elected officials and from the Congress to push them to do right by the immigrants who live here and pay taxes, because you pay taxes. Whether you're documented or not, you pay taxes. And those taxes go towards the keeping of all of us, and they hire people. So there are so many issues that I want to be able to cover, from environmental justice to proper education for our children, to making sure that those frontline workers in the health field are recognized and they receive the services they need, to making sure that the housing that is, by the way, housing is a right. It's not a choice. It's not like, maybe we'll give you, maybe we won't. You have to have proper housing and healthy housing. Our apartments here in the East County, many times are not. They have mold, they have leakages, and people are not being held accountable. You have to hold the landlords accountable. And that means pushing to make sure that the policies that are in place are implemented. And if they are not, you hold them to it. And we want to make sure that our roads and transportation fit the community that we live in. People have to go out to DC, Bethesda to work. They need to be able to come back home without too much of a hassle. We don't have that proper transportation right now. And these are some of the issues that we have facing us in this county that I want to work on. And as an attorney, an immigration attorney, a special education attorney, I have the experience to do it. As somebody who has advocated in this community, I have the experience to do it. I know this area. I love this area. I've lived here for almost 20 years. In March will be 20 years. I have not moved. I came here from Florida. Don't ask me why. Except for the person that's here. That's why I'm here. And because of that, I am running for Montgomery County Council District 5. I love this county, I love this area, but we need equity and inclusion in this county. We need equity and inclusion that's in everything we do. And I want us to do that. And I'm looking for everyone to work with me, just like how I'm working with you. I'm looking for everyone to join our movement. This is a movement, because we don't have equity and inclusion here, hardly any, right? And I want us to push so that we can get the right people on the council and work to represent our districts. Did I forget anything?
Nope. You got it.
Joanne?
You got it. There you go.
Better win.
I am so happy, excited to run and win this new county council seat. And I look forward to seeing all of you and working with all of you and meeting all of you and hoping that at the end of the day, God willing, I get on the council, you are part of the work that we're going to do.
That's
You
right.
hold us accountable. Don't forget, you are electing people to work for you. You're electing people to work for you. Hold them to it. Don't back away. Make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do for you and your community. I love you guys, and I thank you for everything that you've done. Let's go, I want to thank the rest of the team who were not able to make it here. Some are virtually. Jojo, you see all the graphics, Halima, so many. If I start naming names, it would take too long. But I love you guys and I appreciate you and all the support you have given me. And I could not have gotten here without you. We would not have gotten here without you. And I want to say thank you. And God bless. Oh, we're going to take a pictures. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take pictures. Yes.